Hello everybody, and welcome back. I'm Count Christo, and this is the If Necessary for Years, If Necessary Alone campaign in Untitled 4, Black Ice. In the last episode, I got a little bit concerned about that I've maybe been mismanaging things, but you know what? That's okay. So I'm going to try and be a bit more, a bit more upbeat. We got it. We got this. No problem. We're going to mobilize. We're going to go with the breeder variant. We're going to defend this land, and it's all going to be totally fine. So, we are prioritizing the British Army. Right, that's what I haven't opened. I knew I was missing something. I haven't opened my spreadsheet. We're also going to have to rebuild the spreadsheet slightly, but don't go anywhere. Dear YouTube viewers, I see clicking out. We're going to... I'll do that off camera, probably. I think I need to adjust my spreadsheet to. I think I built it wrong, basically. I shouldn't have tried to account for the various different things that can affect the costs of goods. I should just be working off the displayed cost here. I really wish. Does it show you? Yeah, I really wish it showed you the cost per item somewhere in this interface, but yeah, it's not a big deal either way. Manpower is obviously one of our big limiting factors at the moment. We are training some infantry divisions and some territorial divisions. We are building ourselves a bunch of military factories. And we're hoping, yes, it is over 10% world tension now, which means early mobilization is next. The other thing we need... Why did I have to do... I had to do all three of these mobilizations. Why was that? It's for this... Yes, it's for this. Okay, so we're going to do, early mode now. Can we, presumably we can't just do early mode because it requires, what is it again? Afternoon Leicester. It requires 15% world tension. Okay. And it also costs obviously 100 political power that I'd rather spend on other things. Okay. Let's think then. Yeah, we are short on horse transports. Let's put another factory on that. Did I take it? I thought I had 2 on horse transports already. I must have taken it off. That's a shame. Kind of wish I hadn't done that. Right, let's put the quarter pounder up here with the other... Oh, hang on. What am I doing here? I'm making... Is one of these light and one of these heavy? Ah, it's infantry guns. Right. But wait, no, I don't want to make infantry guns. Ah, that's right. When you invent a new thing... I think it just puts it in your production queue, which I don't want for the infantry guns because we're inventing the better ones. Yeah, so I'm only going to start building these ones. Okay, and then this garrison equipment. Do I not have garrison equipment somewhere else? Looks like no. Do we use garrison equipment? I mean, we have. Oh, of course we do actually. In our whatchamacallums. Our actual police battalions. Right. Okay. So, it is... Jesus Christ, it's April 1939. We need to organize ready for a potential African campaign. And I don't remember my history very well. I think, historically speaking, Northern Africa all... fell under the control of Vichy France and then had to be regained. So what I'm kind of expecting to happen, and also like, do I want to try and hold Malta? Because historically they ran like convoys to Malta that aren't simulated in HOI4. Like they ran kind of individual convoys to Malta that were specifically guarded and stuff. I think what I need to do... We also need to, of course, deploy against Italian East Africa. Although, hopefully, I can make it such that they have, like, no supply here. But given that it's already April... Do I know what focus they're doing? No. I really feel like I deserve more intel than this on them. Maybe I shouldn't have pivoted to spying on the Italians. We are recruiting a new operative... Oh, yes, right. One operative is captured right now. We are recruiting a new operative, and once we've got the civilian infiltration, we should see their focuses. But I think we need to do some some actual organization. So, starting in the east, I'm not very concerned about Japanese island hopping. I'm also just, like, the Japanese shouldn't be a threat until, assuming historical timelines, like 41. This also has stalled on relatively historical lines, which is interesting. That's quite cool. Yes, I don't feel like I need to defend all these islands out here. Like, this doesn't even have any resources. So I think we can just move these garrisons. Because the thing is, obviously, ideally, we deny as many of these islands as possible to the Japanese. And we do all of that. But basically, I can't fight... Realistically, I can't fight Japan and Germany at the same time. It just doesn't seem prudent. So what we're going to do is underman the East. That's the stated intention of the British government, is to underman the East. We want to hold Singapore. We want to hold Java, Sumatra, and Brunei. Is this island Borneo? Is the whole island called Borneo? Because right now there's like 3 countries on this island at the moment, right? There's this bit, which is part of Indonesia. There's this bit, which is part of Malaysia. And then there's Brunei, which is just this bit. Does the whole thing... Is it the island of Borneo? I'm assuming this is North Borneo. Since it's North Borneo, it is. Chad says yes. Cool. Thank you. But then beyond that, I don't... there's some oil here that I'd rather the Japanese didn't have control of. And this is New Guinea and this is Papua. So is the whole island Papua New Guinea, I assume? I think we try and hold Malaya. Yeah, I think we try and hold these islands and this island. I think that's the plan. And then we don't try and deny the Japanese naval bases around here. Instead, we try and harass them at sea with submarines. Because I just don't think... Like, the thing is, we don't need much big ship presence to fight the Germans. Not much. So maybe we can spare a bunch to fight the Japanese. Here's something I'd like to know that'll be relevant for this kind of international planning. If I wanted to move my entire fleet to Singapore, how long would that take? Does it not tell me that? Surely I can hover somewhere and it'll tell me. Like in EU4. Can I not hover on, like... Come now. Surely there must be a way to see it. Moving to Naval Base Singapore. Yes, but when will it... I can't see in the tooltips either? Game, surely. Surely there's a way. Is there not? Is there genuinely no way for me to do this? That seems incredible. Like, I literally do not give it credence. Alright. Google. How to see how long it will take a fleet to move HOI4. How do I move between theatres? Keeping the Navy organised. HOI4 naval move times. Not movie. It really wants to autocorrect it to movie. Naval move times. No, naval invasions. That's not what I'm talking about. Moving fleets. Google does not seem to want to tell me. Maybe there literally is not a way to tell. That's horrendous, if true. What if I just right-click here? Does that tell me different? No. Huh. Okay, I mean, that's really annoying. Let's say, let's try and estimate it. It's moving kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we'll want to send it this way. We'll want to send it around Africa. 11. Yeah, okay, that's a bad example then. So it'll need to go. We'll need to go around Africa to get there because I don't want to risk my fleet in the Mediterranean. Well, okay. Here's the test. It's now the 22nd of April. How long is it going to take to get to here? It's going at about 1 square a day. About 5 days. Okay, and I'm now going to... You know what I need? What are they called? What are those little... Those naval instruments with prongs called? Naval map range finding tool prongs. I'll show you what I mean. No, not something with a... Oh, this looks like a new tool. I haven't used one of these. Naval map. What is it called? It should say how long it takes to get there by hovering over the brownish movement arrow. Okay. That's very useful intel. Big if true. By hovering over it, it says how much it takes depending on the part of the arrow you hover over. Am I crazy? It doesn't appear to. I did check that. Is that somehow removed in black ice? Or is it because the arrow isn't where it thinks it is because it's integrated strategic view adjustments to some extent? In vanilla it works. Yeah, it looks like a black ice bug then. Done. Anyway, I'm very curious now. I want to remember what these things are called. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me just cut the top of this. I'm talking about these things. What are these things called? I forget. But I need some of these to measure how many distances it is. What is this thing called? Thank you. That's exactly the question. There are many old map tools. Measuring points. Yes, I know what they're used for. Dividers! That's what they're called. Dividers. I need some dividers. Compass? No, this is not a compass. This is hang on, let me show you. These things. They're handy. They're handy. I've used these many a time to try and work out distances on naval maps. Okay. So but you see what I'm trying to do, right? Because what you do if you want to work out, like you put one end of the divider here and one end of the divider here, and then you walk it, like you rotate it, so one prong goes to here, to here, to here, and you try and work out how many times it is. But anyway, it took about 5 days. We're going to do very rough maths here. It took about 5 days to do that, okay? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And 19 times, 20 times 5 is 100. So it's going to take about 100 days to sail here. That's the kind of crack mathematical genius that you can expect from the Royal Navy, apparently. It's going to take about 100 days. In other words, I don't think Japan... I mean, I realize this is a historical mistake, but I don't think Japan is going to be able to launch a blitz invasion of this area in 100 days. That's just my feeling. So what I'm going to do is not deploy many ships at all to the Eastern Theatre and hope we can win a... What the hell? Germany took the rest of Czechoslovakia. I didn't even notice. Did I even get an event? Did I just click it away? Okay, well, that's worrying. I hope that we're going to be able to win a decisive battle against the German fleet early on and keep the Italian fleet bottled up. Now, what we need to do to be able to keep the Italian fleet bottled up is not lose the Suez and not lose Gibraltar. Because as long as this is contested, navies cannot pass it. And as long as this is friendly to us and contested and enemy to them, navies cannot pass it. Which means we can lock the Italian fleet in the Mediterranean as long as Gibraltar does not fall. Now, supplying Gibraltar requires coming through the Gibraltar Strait, which means Spain needs to stay independent and not involved in the war. So what we might want to do is A, get Portugal in the Allies. That's going to be important for our Mediterranean strategy, actually. Oh, I can still coerce Spain, interestingly. Okay, I actually think what I'm going to do... Portuguese Republic will only join the Allies if Spain is at war. Okay. But if I can get Spain to join the Allies, that would be crazy. Or we fortify the rock, get a land fort in Gibraltar. But the thing is, a land fort here doesn't help us, because if they can get this to, contested for us, in other words, if we're at war with Spain, or at war with the controller of Spanish protectorate in Morocco, then we're going to have to supply Gibraltar from the Suez, which is not doable. I do not believe in my ability to keep these supply lines open. Not in the slightest. Which means we need to build well, I can defend the Levantine Sea. Levantine Sea? Or is it Levant? It looks like it should be pronounced Levantine, but this is the Levant. So, anyway. We might want to consider building some infrastructure here. That seems prudent, because I think we do want to... I want to win the North African campaign. I don't just want to hold the Suez. I want to actually push across northern Africa. And that will mean that if Spain ever did go against us, at the very worst, we can take Ceuta while losing Gibraltar and keep the Gibraltar Strait contested. Both pronunciations are in the Oxford English Dictionary. Interesting. Thank you. So I think it could be a good idea to build a port this side of the Suez. Can we do that? We can, right? Yeah, like maybe I should build a port here. Did that not work? Oh no, it did. There we go. Such that I don't need to have my convoys arriving in the Levantine Sea. How much is that going to cost me? Does it not tell me there? Interesting. 5,000. And what's the throughput on a level 2 naval base? Probably not great, right? The bottleneck... I haven't really used the new supply system enough. Supply transfers. How do you see the limit on a port? Like how do I see how much different ports are able to handle? Okay, maybe the export, maybe I can assume their import and export capacity is the same. In which case it looks like 5 is 48. 6 is 80. So if 6 is 80, then it's like 12 per level. which 5 here does not support. Wait, is that right? This is a slightly embarrassing sum to do on my phone, but what's 80 divided by 6? 13.3. 5, that doesn't really work here, does it? 48 divided by 5? That's 9.6. So it's not linear, is what I'm learning in terms of the capacity. Oh no, here we go. Sorry, naval bottlenecks from level 1, 10. Okay, so we can get 10 supply through a level 1 port. I think we do need to do this. I think this is actually a good idea. Let's build a level 3 port here on the south of the Suez. And then we will obviously struggle here potentially. But we will win the war against Italian East Africa by starving them out. We will be able to supply our our Egyptian theater via the south of the Suez. So we don't have to go through the Med, and we don't have to even go into the Suez and risk being here and therefore vulnerable to the Italian surface navy. Then we win the North African campaign. Easy. What could go wrong? That gives us a locked-in Italy. Italy is not capable of moving outside of the Mediterranean. Okay, so that's the Italian naval threat, at least contained. Now, the German Navy is not troubling right now. It doesn't seem... I mean, we need to get better intel on it, but it doesn't seem plausible it's going to be very threatening. The number of subs is still pretty low. I think we obliterate the German Navy, possibly during Weserübung. That's the right word, right? For the invasion of Norway and where is it? Anschluss, Eastern Claims. It'll be in here somewhere. Under naval expansion plans, maybe. I should definitely just know that this is the name, but God, yeah, big focus tree, huh? Where is Weserübung? Anyway, not important. Maybe during the invasion of Norway, maybe them trying to protect shuttles back and forth from Norway, that kind of thing. We will find out. So we lock in the Italian Navy. We hopefully win a decisive battle against the German surface ships early, which frees up as many of our ships as we want, really, to go and fight Japan. And the fight against Japan is essentially to contain them. I don't think... There's no way for me to draw on this map, is there? It's just a shame. Like, I wish I was in HOI4, because I want to be able to draw on this map really easily. I suppose what I could do... Yeah, I have an idea. Let me do what you should never do and switch to a display capture real quick. Yeah, capture that monitor and fit to screen. Okay, let me check that that's working. Oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to check if it's working, am I? If I do it that way, well, how else could I do this? Oh, here, chat, just tell me if this is working. Can you see, does it just go grey a bit? Can you see this? And then I'm actually going to have to close it to see chat. To see if you saw that. Someone please tell me if you can see that. And then what I'm going to try and do is like draw the plan on here if it did work. But we will see. I could also just kind of gesticulate with my cursor, and then you'll know at least roughly where I mean. But we will see. Because I think... Well, no, forget that idea. Anyway, let me turn off the... Oh, the display capture definitely isn't working. Because I put it below the game capture. Anyway, doesn't matter. The idea here is not to hold Indochina. Though it would be good to deny them the oil and rubber in Cambodia. There's a lot of rubber that I'd love to deny them. But I don't think that's plausible. I don't think we have the troops of sufficient quality to really try and fight both the North African campaign and a campaign against the Japanese at the same time. So what we're going to do is try and hold down here. And if we can hold down here, and obviously, you know, we don't want to lose this bit either. But if we can hold down here, then we can harass the Japanese Navy. We can harass their shipping lines into China, and from the Philippines to China, and from Cambodia, all that stuff, from Indochina. And so we'll probably try and deploy a fairly large portion of our fleet over here to deal with that. But we can only really do that if I can lock up the Italian Navy, because the Italian Navy could present a serious threat to our international shipping. And obviously our international shipping is going to be very important to supply the North African campaign, which, again, I think we're going to have to do round Africa, which is going to take a lot of convoys. It also means that we can't tolerate any German raiding happening around here, which means we'll need to, you know, come down hard on any of that. Okay. All that said, build that port. Do we want to start building a railway across here? I think we might. I think we need a North African railway. Not a big one. Do I just click one place, or do I... You must start on a supply line or other railway. Okay. So, from here... Build that. And then I'll have to actually build a supply hub over here as well, won't I? This is going to cost a lot. 20,000. And the supply hub's another 20,000. But I think we kind of have to do that. Yikes. It's real expensive. Real expensive. That's why we built all those civs, though. I think we have to do this to be able to win this campaign. And now let's deploy... And I'm really not going to deploy many men to France, by the way. It looks like the way this is panning out. So let's deploy to the African theatre. So first off, yeah, you guys. If something goes drastically wrong, I definitely don't need you down there. So we're going to have one army. This is responsible for dealing with... Ethiopia and Somaliland and Eritrea. And we need all the guys we can spare. And these are mostly just militia and, you know, tiny little divisions. We need 2 front lines, one here and one in here. And I don't think we're going to be faced with naval invasions early on. Because to naval invade... Oh no, you can do tiny naval invasions early. 2 there, so 4. We can expect 6 naval invasion unit attacks early on. But you probably should stay holding Aden, and that should be a different army actually. This is the African Theatre's port garrisons. Probably isn't going to be a great logo for that, is there? Alright, what are we going to use for our port garrison logo? We can just decide. We could use a Marines one. That'll annoy people. Sure. There we go. A super dark Marines one. No, a light Marines one. You're the port garrisons. Which means I will standardize this one as well. Cool. Okay, so you can be the east one. But then I think I do need to send some decent troops to the east. To actually hold some of this land more effectively. Excuse me, sorry. My it's not perfect. Let me drink some more tea. Okay. And you guys, same deal. Who else we got around here? So there's you lads, who, as I say, we're just going to pull out of the east. But I do kind of want to hold... I want to hold Guinea, so I guess we'll put you over here. And then some of them may need to move. But I'm not expecting big Japanese invasions early on. I'm expecting it to be kind of, you know, bit by bit, if it happens at all. Hong Kong, I apologize to the people, the good Hong Kongers who are getting quite compliant. I am going to completely abandon you to the oncoming Japanese armies. And you, the Hong Kong Brigade and the Hong Kong Volunteer Defense Corps, I'm afraid I need you in Singapore. And then this is the actual, you know, the actual army, which is going to be, I don't know, we'll just leave it that logo for now. But they will be based, I might base them out of Palembang, actually. Might make sense. We'll see. Anyway, I'll base them out of here for now. And that's the one we'll actually send some more guys to. But obviously in the short term, hopefully, we don't have to worry about the East Indies yet. So I'm not going to actually reinforce them yet. Now you... Do we need to try and defend the little islands miles away from everywhere? I don't think so. I think if they were invaded, I could counter-invade them. And I think it would be fine. The thing is, these divisions are truly horrendous. They're utterly minuscule. These militia ones are at least a little bit more coherent. They actually have some, you know, machine guns and stuff. So they could do something. There's light vehicles in the garrison ones, though. For the military police, barely any. But if you look at the stats here, yeah, these guys can barely move. Oh, actually, that's infrastructure effects. But yeah, they've got 6 soft attacks. They're not going to hold up to infantry. Sadly, they're going to have to try. So I'm going to put them over here. I don't know what Italy is actually going to leave here, obviously. I also don't know when Italy is going to declare. We'll see, I guess. We may end up taking troops from places like India, like, you know, wresting control of some of their forces. Because they are, I mean, they have quite a few of them. And this infantry division, like, what's in there? Like, that, yeah, that's a decent infantry division right there. So we might consider that. Okay, and then over here, the Mediterranean ones. So yeah, we need a Mediterranean. These brigades, yeah, there's not much to them, but they've got some heavy artillery. We're going to need a proper, you know, some proper structure here. It might seem really early to bring this structure. I mean, the war hasn't even started yet, and Italy doesn't typically, you know, get in the war right at the start. But we'll see. I think it's prudent to do it now. Hopefully, Syria doesn't like go to Vichy France. Wow, Allied anger is getting up there. That's good. That's helping us out. I wonder if that stays once the war starts. I hope it does. Right now our Mediterranean fleet is docked there. Let's move them down to Alexandria. We will also, I think, try and deploy submarines here. It's not too shallow. It is ocean. That's shallow. So we'll try and catch some of the Italian stuff going back and forth, I imagine. The other place we're going to... Yeah, this is kind of our main sub... Like, our main sub areas are going to be here, here, and then, you know, all around here, basically. Those are our main 2 areas of sub-activity. Oh, and right at the beginning, also around here. But I don't think Italy... I think this area actually is going to lose supply from Italy with no sub-activity, because they'll be locked in the Med. Right, there's no connection they can make down here. Okay, what was I thinking? Right, yes. So organizing some garrisons. Do we try and hold Malta is another question. We have the Malta Fortress Brigade, which has artillery and some anti-air. I mean, it would be good if we could, of course, but I don't know that we can, because I don't think I can supply it. Does it have a supply hub? No. So these guys you know, getting them fuel and trying to run fighters out of here and get them fuel. I think we try and hold Malta, but realistically I don't think we're going to. And if we can take all of North Africa, then I'm going to be able to move my navy in little short jumps to get really close by, and then we'll be able to re-invade and retake Malta. I hope. You guys, yeah, again with Gibraltar. The plan, if the Spanish join the war, because if the Spanish don't join the war, it's okay. We can hold Gibraltar, just because I don't think anyone's going to be able to invade it really, and we can supply it through the Gibraltar Strait, which is fine, because I should be able to defend this shipping lane. Once France falls, it'll be tricky. We might have to kind of avoid the Bay of Biscay, basically. Send our convoys on a kind of wider berth. Maybe even not avoiding the Irish Sea, sending them like all the way, but we'll see. But that should be doable. I think if the Spanish join, I'm not too concerned about the Spanish army. I don't really have any intel to back that up, but right now it's tiny. And they have like a suffering, yeah, post-war economy is hurting them. And they've got the neutral foreign policy. One thing though, so that's minus 1,000 reasons to join a faction. Do they have a focus to get rid of that? Okay, they have choices. I'm hoping they go pursue neutrality and then deterrence. If they... What would they do? Okay, occupying Tangiers. And then they could go, like, Spanish-German ties, and that would be a problem. And one of these is gonna... Yeah, they get the event. They do it by event, so they don't even need to do anything about that. But I'm pretty sure they're on historical, so they should go to deterrence. So if they stay independent, I think we can hold Gibraltar. We should maybe send an infantry division to go and back it up, because if Gibraltar falls to Italy, taking it back is going to be a nightmare. We'll see. We'll see. What am I don't know. The thing is, we kind of want to push in here while Italy is fighting France in North Africa. And then France falls, this area all falls, I think. But meanwhile, we've pushed all the way over here and taken some of their supply hubs and stuff. We'll see. What I'm going to do for now is send 6 infantry divisions, which is, you know, half of my infantry divisions, to the Mediterranean army. And we'll just send them to Cairo for now, and then I will worry about it. I'll worry about where to put them more precisely after that. Apart from that, just give me some garrison brigades on these ports, including Sindri Barani, I guess. Sidi Barani? Not sure. Okay, and then, but the thing is, we have to remember that these militia brigades are practically, no, sorry, the garrison brigades, they're really small. We might want to make them bigger. That might be one of the easier ways. Got the fortress garrison, the regular garrison, the colonial volunteer garrison. So the regular garrison, if we added, it tells you how much this would cost now, doesn't it? Yeah. It's only 3,000 manpower. It's field uniforms and some radio equipment. I think we might want to beef them up. We should also make it more clear what these are with their icons. So, we've got the volunteer fortress garrison. And the difference between the volunteer one and the normal garrison is that the volunteers haven't got military police in them. Okay. We don't really need military police in these, but we'll see. You can see the naval arrival estimate by hovering over the navy on the map. Hooray! You can! Thank you! I appreciate it. Alright, that's very helpful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So it actually is only going to take 22 days for them to go all the way over there. So I'm not at all concerned about the fact that we might need to send them over at short notice. 22 days is plenty of notice, I think, to be able to get our navies where we want them. Getting them actually up to, you know, enough organization upon arriving is a different matter, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Okay, so garrisons. we've got 6 of those, 4 regular garrisons, 4 fortress garrisons, 13 local defense forces. And the local defense forces are small, very small. The fortress garrisons, it's just that they have the heavy artillery, which means they have that way higher soft attack. Regular garrisons have this military police, which honestly, why? Why have this military police in here? I mean, it's thematically appropriate, but it seems like a complete waste for very, very small statistical improvements. And it actually makes their organization worse. So I'm actually just going to straight up take that out. Because it's a small colonial garrison that we're using for occupying areas. It's 10 of our army experience. Trust me, I know that is a big deal. And we discovered that this is bad, by the way. After wasting a bunch of military police making it, this is still actually better. That's a fortress garrison, regular garrison, colonial defense garrison. The difference is now nothing, right? These are identical. Okay, so I want to just replace the colonial volunteer fortress garrison with the regular garrisons. They're even motorized the same, right? Yes. Okay, so give that like a noticeable icon. And then let's just find them. These 4. Okay. Throw them into a new army for a second. Swap them over to the... I did that the wrong way around, didn't I? Okay, well that's fine. We can just do it this way around. Change the division template, which actually makes no difference. Delete the regular garrison template. And then just rename this one. Wish you could double click to select all on here. Can you shift A? Control A even? Oh, you can. Good. This is the garrison. Just standard garrison division. And then we may want to make these a bit tougher. I'm like a bit bigger. Add some more garrisons in. It's going to cost stuff we don't have right now. So I'm not going to do that immediately. But right now I'm training territorial divisions, which are a lot stronger. Yeah, garrison, they have some heavy attack, but like compared to the territorial, it's a similar soft attack actually. That's crazy. Just the heavy artillery costing 400 industrial capacity, okay. But still, the heavy artillery meaning they have that massive soft attack, but low speed, very low speed. Is that just from you? No, supports shouldn't affect speed, should they? I thought supports didn't, but anyway. Yes, I know this is a lot of organization to be done here, but once we get this all set up, I think it's fine. Yeah, obviously the idea that we have 2 different motorized, like a motorized brigade and a motorized division, that's silly. We don't need motorized brigades. I'm not convinced we need either of these actually. I'm not convinced I want motorized brigades. I mean, your soft attack is 35 compared to an infantry of 78. They're just obviously faster. It's just the garrisons are slow. Yeah. So the local defense force is the other one I should consider. They are faster. But we're not really wanting them to move, are we? Got 13 of these. And they lack the AA and the... Oh, sorry, you're telling me that... Right, the reason these guys are slow is because the actual garrison thing here is slow. Understood. As opposed to it being the heavy artillery. The local defense forces have some light infantry and some militia. And they're faster. They have worse defense and worse soft attack just because they don't have the thing, but they're cheaper. Okay. Right, but sorry, let's deal with the motorized. I think I put them in a separate army here somewhere. Yes, okay. So we have 4 motorized divisions right now. And I mean, they're fairly good. But I think we just get rid of them. They're experienced is the thing that's stopping me. But I don't want to make more of these. Which one is smaller? Presumably the brigade. Yeah. The difference is that the division has way more support stuff. And some motorized artillery. We shouldn't get rid of them, it's just a waste. Let's send them to the African front. They obviously take fuel and stuff, but I think that's a good idea. We'll see, because then this seems like a pretty potent force to go through here. They'll use a lot of supply, and so we'll see how it looks. Oh. Okay, yeah, I think bringing those guys down here, we'll see what the supply situation is, especially once that supply hub has been built. But if we can bulldoze the North African campaign, I'll feel much better about my prospects in this here conflict of ours. What HOI is this? This is Black Ice. It's a mod. It's very good. Alright, so we've got you guys, which I switched out into a new army because we were transitioning you into our new garrisons. Okay, so there's the garrison, and there's still the fortress garrison, which adds in motorized artillery. Why motorized? We get relatively small improvements on statistics by motorizing them. But we use 18 heavy transport trucks. And we use, you know, fuel. So not right now because we don't have the points, but I'm going to demotorize the garrison divisions. We're gonna take the trucks off them because I'd much rather use those for other things. We have the Army Tank Brigade, which I'm still not sure what we're doing with, so let's not worry about that yet. We have the African Division, which we're not using. So this is the light infantry, and motorized pack artillery. What is the difference between pack artillery and artillery? Uses... Ah, these are for mountains. What? Minus 12 mountain artillery? It doesn't say plus... Wait, what? Are they special forces? No. Motorized pack artillery, which uses 12 mountain artillery. But that isn't... Is that something I'm not able to add to divisions? Oh no, here it is, sorry. Motorized pack artillery is 12 mountain artillery, but pack artillery is also mountain artillery. Okay. Okay, well, we don't need them in mountains. And they have the same combat bonuses in desert. And the statistical difference is that they have worse stats. Just worse everything, and use more fuel. Okay, so this seems like a silly division to me. I'm guessing these are light ones that we're meant to be using in Africa, obviously, because they're, you know, lighter. They use less supply. So supply use is 3 on these guys, and only 1.6 on these. But the thing is, they're using 1.6 supply to do 30 soft attack with 21 organization. And these guys, with very similar organization, are using twice as much supply to do more than 3 times as much... Sorry, not more than 3 times as much. More than 2 times as much damage. And with a good deal more strength. The weight is a lot higher, but that's just for moving them. The fuel use is a lot higher. I think I'm happy to deploy normal infantry divisions to Africa, and maybe I'm crazy. But I think we just have a few less better divisions, basically. Then the cavalry brigades I'm not going to use, I don't think. And the mechanized brigades is not mechanized. It's just motorized. And I won't worry about that for now. They have a desert support company. We could add a desert support company in to the ones that we're sending to Africa. All that gives them is a 7.6% better hot acclimatization factor. And lower organization. I might do that anyway, though. We'll see. We shall see. We should get them down here to start acclimatizing. I completely forgot about acclimatizing. That's That's going to be useful. So it's a good thing that I remembered to send them down earlier. So, you guys, you're going to man these ports. Did I not put one down here? Not sure where I should have assigned him. Ah, over here. That's right. Okay. Alright, so there's the Cypress Brigade, which is rubbish, right? It's the militia one. Oh no, the militia ones aren't terrible. I would like to hold Cyprus, ideally, because if we can push them over here, then we can potentially naval invade some of these islands, and then we can keep them, you know, locked onto the continental Atlantic. And obviously, when Greece gets invaded, which I suspect it will, I think what I will do is I will move some men to occupy Cyprus. Sorry, Crete. I mean Crete. Crete and Chios and Lesbos and all these little islands. Not Naxos, because it's, you know, directly connected. But yeah, so if we can get some men in here, that'll be useful. Just to deny the land to the Italians and to give us really close bases to do convoy raiding, because they're going to want to try and supply probably through here. Okay, so we got still some unassigned guys. Right, so these guys, these are the really titchy ones, aren't they? No, these are the manageable ones. I don't think I need them over here. I'm not concerned over here, really. I think if anyone tried to attack me over here, well, what if Vichy France suddenly gets all this land? It's plausible. It's plausible, so I'm going to keep just a few of these guys, though, in the Port Defense Army. I think it makes sense to keep them over here, just in case, given that that is a live possibility. And you are, again, just the titchy little thing, but there won't be any troops down here to fight me. So if Vichy France does suddenly get all this land, what I'll do is I'll just rush to the ports, and then it should be fine. Okay. Now, supplying this area is going to be interesting. Got a supply hub down here, it looks like. Or is that just coming in from the naval base? Yeah. Got a supply hub. Okay, we've got some supply hubs in the north. So we'll probably try and push in here. And then from here, maybe. But I don't know if manning this whole area makes sense. Because if they push out a bit, who cares, right? Even if they took all of the Sudan, if I take the coast, they're going to be in a tough spot. And I should just be able to roll inland and cause some trouble. Yes, sir. Now, you... There is a potential that we should man some of these ports, but I think I'm not going to. Likewise with St. Helena, because I'm going to be frantically short of men. It feels like, anyway. You... Oh, ideally, I'd like to push you to that front line, but in the event, likely event, that I don't have any men to reinforce you with, for now, actually, I need you to hold that port. Okay, now America. Surely we don't need these men holding ports in the Americas. I think that is... I think I am happy to say that that is the case. So... One thing, the actual Garrison divisions, which have the heavy artillery, let's put them in Gibraltar. And these guys are the truly titchy guys. Let's put them on some less significant African ports. Which means I can move these militia up, which I already have done, right. Just these ones, right? Yeah. No, sorry, that's the eastern ones. Africa. It's these guys. Okay. Come down here. Here. And these, obviously, these guys, I mean, they only exist to mean that, like, maybe I can get some subs into position to fight off someone landing. There's barely anyone in these divisions. That's going towards the med. Move him over, if I'm going to put him there. Okay. Now, that leaves me with 7 infantry divisions. And these guys, I'm going to deploy to Belgium. And Godspeed to them. You know, I don't know how that's going to go. Sure, let's have them based here for now. This is the reserve. This is where new divisions should be deployed to. And then the territorial divisions, they're better than the garrisons, and so they're what we're going to use to hold ports around the home islands, where it's obviously most critical that we don't suffer any successful naval invasions. Okay, I think that's kind of men deployed, right? Very lax defense of the east for now, but some local garrison divisions that we'll be able to use, and we might be able to draft in some Australian or some Indian regiments to come and help. Next is Navy. So, the fleet in the east right now consists of 2 carriers, old carriers, some, including, a cruiser and a capital conversion carrier, some improved cruisers. These are okay. Well, they're not horrendous. Some old cruisers and some old destroyers. I honestly think maybe this whole thing comes home. And we have nothing in the east to start at the start of the war. Literally nothing. I mean, because we should have like a whole year and a bit's time. I'm very hopeful that we might have won the North African theatre before the Japanese attack. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to disband the Eastern Squadron. Focusing on priorities in Europe, we disband the Eastern Squadron. Actually. Is Japan going to sub-raid? The problem with that would be Japanese submarine attacks on my... No, because there aren't going to be... Yeah, we're not at war with Japan yet. Let's focus on what I have time to focus on. You should be upgraded to the 20 class Mark II. Good. The Undaunted should be merged in with the subs. Okay, now, submarines. I don't think... Well, do I want to deploy... I don't know if it makes sense to sub-raid the Germans right at the start here. Because I don't think they're going to import much. But maybe that's only because we'll sub-raid them that they'll not import much. Yeah, I think to start with we should have some submarines deployed against the Germans. So let's get... Well, first off, we should split these guys off into the different types. So we've got the cruisers, we've got the basic subs, and we've got the subs. And they should be in their own fleet, really. This is our submarine force. I forget. Different task forces can have different jobs, but in the same area if they're in one fleet, right? Yeah, because you can't assign to the task force, you assign to the fleet. Okay. So this is our home submarine fleet. And in the early war, that is the blockade line. That's what we want to try and prevent getting to the Germans. And that will be using... We'll have to organize this a bit better. Let's put... Well, let's see what we can do with small sub-forces. Because most of the subs should actually sit in reserve, I guess. We just want a few little... I'm using small submarines. These are our Tichy class subs. That's the main ones we're using. Then the cruisers and the bigger submarines, like these newer, kind of more expensive ones, can be their own thing. And I'm going to deploy them to what we'll call the Mediterranean theatre. With their own fleet. And that's going to be active around here. I don't know if the Italians will be able to import anything, but in case they are, I'm going to base that out of here. Okay. Now they're going to need some normal submarines in reserve. Well, no, because they won't take any... I don't think I'll take any losses around here. Yeah, so we'll just send a small little wolf pack of some early submarines. 10 of them. And their job is convoy raiding in these areas. Sorry, but I need to select the fleet. And I don't know if they'll find anything, but I'm curious. So those are your areas of responsibility. Now, the Mediterranean carrier fleet. First off, come home. Then what is this? Gambia, yeah, come home. Let's have it all come home, and then I will decide how we divide up our actual surface ships. It's going to cost us some fuel to do this kind of relatively inefficient way of doing it, but... Right, and then there's the Belfast Garrison. You are presumably pretty weak. We'll put you in Home Guard Defense, and we will assign you here. Good. Okay. And we have some low supply units in Africa. What's your problem? I think you're not actually in low supply. I think you just need to get over yourself. 500 with no units assigned. This one, yep. I will delete that just for clarity's sake. Okay. Now, who should take command of these different fronts? I'm not sure. We'll worry about that close to the time. Because when you first appoint them, it's free. You should not be actually at sea, though. Ah, they're just repositioning, ready to be deployed here. Understood. Okay. Right, good. That low supply notification has gone away now. Okay, time to finally unpause. It's been an hour, but I think we have our kind of our global strategy relatively organized now. You know what I should do? I should save in case the game crashes. Okay. Right, pressing on. That focus that we were 20 days into when the episode started an hour ago. Right, and these lads are all heading off to the African front, where they will get used to being toasty. I think, an early victory in the African front would be really advantageous. Okay, so there's prioritized the British Army. Good, and there's the new infantry gun. Excellent. Let's go early mob. It's got to be done. And after that infantry gun. Okay, research-wise, why can't I research this? That's pretty important. I need improved infantry weapons 1. All right, let's do that as a matter of extreme urgency. Infantry weapons are obviously pretty integral parts of how things work. So did it automatically add a quarter-pounder thing at the bottom? It did not. It's interesting. We need to start making some infantry guns urgently. Oh, sorry, no, wrong quarter-pounders. I'm always tempted to make a mod that just removes all of the historical names so that it's easier to play. Yeah, I'll put that down here with the other guns. We'll put 2 factories on that as we fill things out here. And yeah, I know this is expensive, very expensive, but I think it's important that we get these built. How much of my production is actually using? Holy Christ! With 16 factories, it's going to take me till February of next year. Oh my god. That's worse than I thought. I'm actually tempted to stop now. Like, that's so much commitment. But we need it. We need a supply depot here. Is there still like the decision that lets you build new supply depots faster? I don't think so. Which is, you know, fair enough. Oh, there's less of these options now. I guess because there's less Chinese states now. Ooh, war support stabilized. Excellent. Just from world tension, I guess. German Reich has claimed Mammal. It was September, historically, when the war started. Right, has the Navy merged up? Not quite. The guys from... where are these? Where are these lads? They're almost here. Yeah, so what I guess we'll do is we'll set like the whole central med, to avoid. In which case these supply lines will prefer going around in other directions. Okay, got some more manpower available. We're short on supply equipment and stuff rather than actual manpower right now, though. We're fully mobilized. Okay, have they arrived yet? No. As soon as they arrive, we need to start sending them off, because I don't want the ships to be all sailing around, you know, as the war kicks off. Obviously. You're never going to be in the position when you feel truly ready for it. And here are all the German troops arriving on the coasts. Alright, the Navy infiltration. The Greek government has decided to agree to the rearmament of the Bulgarian military. Fine. There is our naval infiltration done. Success. Excellent. Tell me about their navy. They built at least one more Deutschland class, which again I'm not too concerned about, to be honest. They've ramped up submarine production quite a bit. They only had 9 of these before. Now they have a minimum of 9. Okay, give me rescue the captured operative. Right, but we need someone to actually build this network before I can launch that. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. There really is an operative. Probably requires the daily tick to actually check. Send in our German linguist double agent. Or actually, seducer might be good. No, let's send him in. It's routine. There is some risk. And you're building the network. You should not be doing that. Let's focus on the German network for now. Yeah, build that up. Okay, I'd love to be in their air force. Ah, we can now do resistance contacts against Germany. Okay, that's important. Let's get another upgrade going. Commando training is good. Let's get commando training. It's pretty cheap too. Can I actually send this guy? That's funny. Well, obviously we won't do that. I'll wait for this new operative to get recruited and then we'll send them in. Because I want to keep the network. I need to keep the network growing on Germany so we can actually get some intelligence. Okay, we can change something. Well, the war is now starting to look like it's going to kick off. So... we could get something like a naval refit yard. Or a head of the Navy could be good. Yeah, scientist, naval theorist. Can't do that because we need a chief of Navy. Yeah, chief of... actually, yeah, that's what I should be appointing. A chief of the Navy and the chief of the Air Force are pretty urgent. I mean, and a supreme commander. There's so much political power I need to spend on stuff. Not least, I could now. Could we do this? No, we need 30% more attention for that. Regulated the press. Right, yeah, I need to start coming up on these actually, don't I? The War to End All Wars increases it by 200%. When do I get rid of that? Does this get rid of... how do I get... oh, it's peace has failed, right? Yes. I think I won't actually do it until peace has actually failed then. I mean, it's going to mean we're weak right at the beginning, but I'm not expecting any major attacks on me from Germany right at the beginning. It'll obviously be on Poland. So we have some time to kind of mobilize while the so-called, that definitely wasn't, phony war is going on. Could go to basic bonds. We kind of do need the output now, don't we? Well, I don't know that I do, actually. I'm not sure I do urgently need this right now, because we want the output when we have, you know, more factories. I think a war industrialist might actually be the best pick right now. I know I need a chief of army. I know. I think a war industrialist is a good long-term pick. Give us that output to build these up. And we're nearly at early mob, which is going to be really helpful. Okay, what is this? Okay, it's a new light artillery. Okay, we're not using very much medium artillery, are we? We're just kind of using heavy and light. So I'm actually going to go with the heavy upgrade next, I think. Anti-tank upgrade would also be really important, as is an anti-air upgrade. Like, it's all critically important all of the time, as is the freaking partial cast construction, the welded and all this stuff. Yeah, we're going to deprioritize tanks. I need decent artillery for now. Okay, well, I know it was an episode of a lot of organization, but it was important, so hopefully you enjoyed it. I will see you all. Don't worry, Twitch not going anywhere. I will see you all in the next one. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.